Now, you'd think by now our governments would know how to build a functional app, and yet somehow they keep getting it spectacularly wrong. From the $500 million meltdown of Quebec's SecClick platform to the federal government's ArriveCan fiasco, we've seen delays, cost overruns, baffling management decisions, and hourly consultant rates that shot up from $80 to $350 with little to show for it. So why is it that when it comes to tech, governments in this country can't seem to get their act together? Let's go now to Jacques Sauvé, a cybersecurity consultant. His company is called Trilogiam, and he joins us on the line. Hi, Jacques.
Hi, Elias. How are you?
I'm good. Why don't you try and answer that question? Why is it that when it comes to tech, our governments, federally, provincially, we can't get our act together?
No, and it has nothing. I mean, I'm glad you call on me for technology stuff issues, but this has nothing to do with technology. We have the technology. We have the know-how, right? This is simply pure, gross, incompetent mismanagement. That's all it is. And it has to do with two words, two very big words that are not part of the government lexicon: responsibility and accountability. There is none. Think of private companies. Think of the Air Canadas and Bombardiers of the world. If you have a CIO, right, Chief Information Officer, who's overseeing a major IT project, right, let's use the buzzword digital transformation, something of the scale of SecClick, and everything fumbles, cost overruns, time, nothing works, well, somebody's going to be angry, i.e. the shareholders, right? So there's accountability and responsibility to the shareholders. And yeah, they're not going to be very happy with the way things turn out, and heads are going to roll. The problem in all government, all levels of government, is the shareholders are you and me and our friends and families and everybody who pays taxes. And we clearly now understand and see that at all levels of government, they don't give a damn about the shareholders.
Do the IT contractors, do they know this, and are they taking advantage of it?
Absolutely. I mean, look at SecClick and LGS. How do you even begin to justify that a consultant goes from 82 to $350 an hour? I mean, this is incredible.
How much do you, Jacques, you don't have to give me like ballpark. How much do you charge? Is there anyone that deserves a $350 at any type of role?
Yes. In some cases, like let's talk about, a big cybersecurity incident and forensics experts go in and they dig. Sure, $250, $275. I work mostly for small businesses, so I don't do that because they wouldn't hire me, right?
Yeah.
I go in around $175 and people are fine with that. But small businesses. But yeah, in huge enterprise customers, lower government, if you're doing very critical work, sure, there are some. But how do you go from 82 to 350 and everybody goes, that's okay, yeah, and they sign off on all? Like how? Who decides that, right? And we're seeing now with the commission that nobody batted an eye. We just agreed. And then some of the consulting contracts, I think it was LGS, went from something like an estimated $16 million to $35 million, right? More than double, and nobody bats an eye. It is unbelievable to me as I listen to the people who go and testify at the commission. I don't know about you. I'm just sitting there. I want to eat the sofa, and I'm raging. Right?
Okay. So can I ask you, for our listeners, are there a couple of tidbits? Obviously, we mentioned the $80 to $350 an hour, that kind of thing. But are there some other things that have come out of the Gallant Commission where your jaw has dropped?
Oh yeah, just how this one person, right? We're seeing this Cal Malenfant, who's VP and overseeing all this entire project. He's not reporting the right things to the top level management, to the president of the SecClick, and the information is, so far what we're seeing, is not getting all the way to the ministers. So how does information not flow? How are there not dashboards and reports that tell the truth, and that one person can sort of, control the communications that are going up to the high level? So yes, it's just unbelievable how one person can cause so much damage and nobody notices or nobody says anything, because now we're starting to find out that, well, maybe some of these top-level management and some people in government didn't say anything. We'll just get more taxes out of, public coffers. And Every day the new revelations are just astounding.
Jacques, I don't want to use this word lightly, right? I like to use. I'm going to use the word corruption. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
But again, corruption, that's a serious allegation. Right? You know what I mean? And sometimes it's not corruption; it's just complacency and laziness, right? And it can be deemed as corruption, but actually, it's not as nefarious. But the result is the same, right?
No, let's say the real things, Elias. It is corruption. It is absolute. In French, we use the word magouille. It's la magouille at all levels. You remember in 2010, Maclean's had a cover where they had
Bonhomme Carnaval, yeah.
Yeah, and saying that Quebec was the most corrupt province. And then in 2012, we had the Commission Charbonneau, and even at the time, myself and others in the industry were saying, okay, when they're done with construction, look into IT projects. In 2012, we were saying that. Nobody listened. Now here we are 13 years later, and oh my God, look at all this crap. Well, yes, it's been going on for years. We've known it.
Does it concern you that you see the same names bouncing from different government departments and then the same companies getting these contracts?
No, it's all fixed. In French, we have the expression, t'arranger avec le gars des vues, right? It's all fixed. Yeah. Look, Groupe LGS just did this big mess with SAC-CLIC, right? This whole fiasco. Now, they also got selected to do the Santé Québec payroll.
Yeah.
So it's like, why? Look at what they just did with SAC-CLIC, And then, here's the interesting thing. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but this whole, going digital transformation for all our health records, right? So we have one common system, which would be about time. Alberta's done this now already. Mm-hmm. So they studied it. They gave this contract to the firm, about $30-40 million, to a firm called Accenture, an American firm, right? And $30-40 million to study, well, what are our needs? What would you need to get? And they recommended this system called EPIC, which is what Alberta just finished deploying. Now, we find out that the people who got the contract are, surprise, surprise, Accenture, the same ones who wrote the recommendations. And we found out that Accenture recently, or about a year or two ago, bought a company that specializes in selling and deploying Epic. So, you look at all this and going like,
how did
really?
they come up with that recommendation? How did they even get to that point?
It's magic.
Jacques, listen, I have to wrap up here, but how would you fix it?
I don't know. You got to wipe everything clean. But the problem is, a lot of the times, the unions, these people are all protected, all these high-level people, these Cal Malenfants, nobody wants to touch that. And I imagine, I don't know if these people are unionized or what, but they're very well protected. And they just take, well, he wasn't good there, so let's put him there, right? So he can create a mess somewhere else. So I think a lot of this top-level management in the government, all these fonctionnaires need to be, get pushed out and hire competent people who can manage projects.
And I don't think these people are unionized, by the way. I think it's culture. I think that at the high level, it's just a culture. Okay, Jacques, I gotta leave it there. I want to thank you so much.
All right, news.
Jacques Sauvé is a cybersecurity consultant. His company is called Trilogiam.